The pandemic has forced local first responders to find new ways to deliver critical care to people who call 911.
That's right. Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham examines those challenges and how local agencies are addressing them to keep you safe.
In Covington, city firefighters wear masks on every call, and if possible, they put face masks on their patients. Crews also disinfect each fire station 3 times a day.
And then lock it in on both sides.
Covington firefighters will also begin using new state-of-the-art CPR devices.
Might have to relocate the pad just a little bit.
Covington Assistant Fire Chief David Geiger says traditional CPR is potentially dangerous during a pandemic.
Doing those chest compressions has the potential to expel some air from that patient's lungs that could then put our responders at risk.
But with the new CPR device, Geiger says firefighters face less risk. Geiger says the city of Covington purchased one device for each of the fire department's 6 ambulances through funding provided by the Federal CARES Act. The WCPO9 I-Team found that many local first response agencies have made significant changes in how they deliver services during the pandemic. The I-Team focused on what they consider their priorities and how they're responding to them. According to Geiger, one major challenge is getting the high-quality personal protection equipment firefighters need.
Where before I could order additional supplies in 10 or 15 minutes, now I may spend hours searching for a supplier who has some quality product.
To help protect first responders, the Northern Kentucky Health Department provides emergency dispatch centers in Kenton, Boone, and Campbell counties with a confidential daily updated list of home addresses for patients who received lab results showing they tested positive for COVID-19.
We take that information, we enter it into our CAD system.
Dan Matthew, Kenton County's Director of Emergency Communications, says the addresses of COVID-19 patients appear as alerts in the 911 system when first responders are dispatched to those locations.
We just simply let them know that there's an alert on the address.
Do you know if he has a fever?
In the Hamilton County Emergency Communications Center, dispatchers began asking coronavirus-related questions 5 weeks before the World Health Organization declared a pandemic.
It's lengthened every single phone call that we take.
Andrew Knapp, the director of Hamilton County's 911 Communications Center, says daily reviews show dispatchers handle the extra questions without needing more time to answer 911 calls. But Knapp admits the pandemic did accelerate a response to what he called the 911 center's weak spot.
And the backup is the one thing that stood straight up.
Unlike the city of Cincinnati, which handles its own 911 calls, Knapp says Hamilton County has no backup 911 center of its own, even though Hamilton County provides emergency communications for 48 municipal departments. Knapp says the temporary solution is in this briefcase. The laptop is one of 15 computers that can connect with the county's 911 communication system from a remote location. Knapp says these photos provided by Hamilton County Communications show dispatchers handling 911 calls during a recent test of their mobile 911 backup center.
The good news is that equipment exists and we can use it. It's just not the most optimum.
Like many first responder agencies, the Covington Fire Department had fewer calls for service during state-ordered lockdowns in the spring. But now, Assistant Chief David Geiger says the workload is back to normal, even though he admits there's a new normal. The pandemic prompted the Kenton County Animal Control to reinvent itself. We'll show you the changes that they've made on WCPO.com. Craig Cheatham, WCPO9 I-Team.